The Netherlands is one of the lowest-lying countries in the world, with around half its surface area no more than a metre above sea level. Most of its land has been reclaimed through water management systems, some of which date back to the Middle Ages. There are over 1,000 windmills in the country, as well as a series of dikes, levees and water plants. When it comes to sport, the country's renowned for its cycling culture, as well as being the home of total football. And the multitude of canals and waterways here has beget another sport, Fierljeppen, or canal jumping. Douwe Bosma is a board member at the Dutch Fierljeppen Association.
Fierljeppen is a very simple sport. Basically, a person pole vaults across the water and the furthest jump wins. In the past, we used a wooden pole. Then we moved to aluminium ones. But nowadays, we use carbon poles. It's tough and stiff, but extremely light, so it falls slower. The length of the pole has grown from 5 metres to 12.5 metres, and because of that, people are jumping further. The Dutch record is over 21.5 metres.
Fierljeppen dates back to the 13th century. Farmers would use wooden poles to traverse waterways and get to different plots of their land. In the spring, people would also vault across canals in search of birds' eggs. Fierljeppen became a competitive sport in the mid-1950s. Essentially, a pole or pole stock is placed at one side of a bank. It has a flat round plate on the bottom to prevent it from sinking. Fierljeppers run and jump at the pole with enough pace to get it falling, but slow enough to give them time to climb as high as possible before landing. There are over 150 events on the Fierljeppen calendar, and the Dutch National Championships at a purpose-built canal in Grijpskerk is the biggest of them all. Orn Galama is currently ranked second in the country and won the national title in 2012.
It's a very big contest, so it's a great feeling to win, to be the best and register a jump you dream about. For us, this is the same as getting an Olympic gold medal. It may only be here in Grijpskerk, but winning is the biggest accolade in this sport. You feel relief and pride, which keeps you coming back.
The 31-year-old is a scientific researcher and data analyst by trade, but has been competing in the sport for over 15 years. He's garnered a reputation locally for his unusual vaulting style.
It's a special technique which places emphasis on the dismount. You have to try and propel yourself as far as possible at the peak of the pole. You have to swing your legs up and your arms go back. You then use the momentum to spring off the pole. It's a good technique, but one that not many jumpers can control.
At the Dutch National Championships, the Fierljeppers traditionally dress in orange if they're from Holland in the south of the country, or in the blue and white of the Friesland flag if they're from the north. There's a friendly rivalry between the two regions. All the jumpers wear strips of bicycle inner tube rubber around their feet to help them grip the otherwise slippery pole. Typically, the person that climbs highest jumps furthest, and the National Championships is the competition everyone wants to jump furthest in.
In total, we have around 500 jumpers in the country from all different backgrounds and ages. And the best of the best are here today at the Dutch National Championships. I expect a fierce competition where jumpers from both Holland and Friesland will push each other until the end. There'll be some missed jumps and some will get wet, but if it goes right, these jumpers could go very far into the sand. The crowd here is very enthusiastic too, so you'll hear lots of cheering and chanting.
Owen starts the competition well, registering a respectable jump of 19 meters 39 in his first 3 attempts.
Hij probeert het en hij gaat hier voorbij de 19 meter. Ja, ik denk het wel. En daarmee komt hij...
Reigning champion Bart Hemholt trumps him with a distance of 19 meters 80, but it's Friesland's Nard Brandsma who takes a healthy lead going into the final with a mark of 20 meters 41. As As ever, the event attracts a broad demographic, passionate about keeping the traditions of Fierljeppen alive. Both old and young, men and women are in attendance. Even for the most experienced jumpers, landing on the sand is an accomplishment in itself.
Jongens, gaat het hem dan nu dus lukken in deze sprong? Nee, dat gaat hem niet lukken voor wie zijn auto gaat.
24-year-old Kimberly Engelhardt is one of the best female Fierljeppers. She achieved a personal best a matter of weeks before the competition and was keen to dispel any concerns about the safety of the sport.
As long as you let go at the right time and fall well, it's not dangerous. But you have to pay attention to what you're doing. Every jump is different. The weather changes, there's wind, and you have to anticipate that. It's a challenge. You always want to improve and take more risks to jump further. And that's the beauty of the sport. The people are very friendly too, so if somebody else jumps well, they'll be congratulated. It's not just about winning.
Kimberly misjudges her first jump, but lands safely with her other two attempts. Her best distance of 14 metres 31 isn't enough for the final though, and she finishes 5th. Instead, Dimfie van Rooyen goes on to take the ladies' title with a leap of 15 metres 35. Meanwhile, there's high drama in the men's final. Hot favourite Orn Gallagher incredibly misses the pole and ends up in the water, much to the surprise of the crowd. Moments later, reigning champion Bart Hemholt jumps 20 metres 41, matching Naad Brandsma's leap of the day. With the scores tied after the final 2 jumps, the judges look to the pair's second best distances. And it's Bart Hemholt, who's retiring from the sport this year, who retains his crown.
It feels extra special this time, as this is my last year, and I also won it by a small margin. Our jumps were less than a centimetre apart, so it came down to the second best jump. It was exhilarating.